My name is Mary Johnson. I am the Vice President of Special Projects for YoungWilliams. I am in Casper, Wyoming. I have always worked from home, but our corporate headquarters is in Mississippi. I actually received 2 degrees from the University of Wyoming. The first degree was in 1990, a Bachelor's of Science, secondary education with an emphasis on biology. And then I came back and I received my Juris Doctorate in 1995. My journey after the University of Wyoming was really all over the board. So since I graduated from UW twice, the first time I graduated, I immediately moved to the Virgin Islands, where I worked in a beach hut, and I handed out towels and chairs, and I took people scuba diving. I would say, much to my parents' chagrin, I did not use my degree at all. But honestly, I think that was probably the best decision I have ever made in terms of a professional career. You know, I would just say, follow your dreams, do something completely outside your wheelhouse, have fun and enjoy it, because soon enough, you will be working all of the time. You will be paying bills and doing all of the things that adults have to do. After the Virgin Islands, I came back to Laramie, where I went to law school, which I loved. One November morning, I was sworn in by the Wyoming Supreme Court, and that afternoon, I actually had my first real job interview. From there, I landed a job as a staff attorney for a company that contracts with state and local governments to handle their child support cases. I only, I'll say air quotes, practiced law for 3 months, where I signed pleadings, I went to court, I drafted orders, and then I was given a choice. The company I worked for needed someone to manage the office. And they said, would you like to keep going to court, or would you like to manage this office? Now remember, I don't have a degree in management. I've never had any management experience, except for I was a head lifeguard when I was in high school, but I don't really think that counts. But really looking back, this is probably the single most important decision in my professional career. But at that time, who really knew? So I decided, rather than going to court, I would take a whirl at managing the one office. And then that one office quickly became 2. And then all of a sudden, I'm overseeing 6 offices in Wyoming. I had 2 in New Mexico and 2 in Arizona. After about 10 years of managing all those people and the projects, I decided to make a change. And instead of managing people, I decided that I would just work specifically in projects. So I changed companies and headed down my current path, which is with special projects. So my very first special project, I wrote a policy manual for the state of Wyoming's child support program. It required a deep understanding of federal and state law and how those 2 laws work together within the child support program. After I finished that first special project, it really morphed into more special projects. I was a proposal writer where I responded to requests for proposals. Each state and county government has a procurement agency, which requires contractors to explain in very great detail why a state's agency should hire that particular contractor. I also somehow started overseeing our company's brand and logo. I know more about the color palette than really any attorney should ever know about a color palette. And then I most recently have started creating external and internal SharePoint sites, which are actually websites for our clients. So as special projects go, I just sort of run the gambit. But one of the things I'd like to circle back to, which when you make a decision, and as I said earlier, my biggest decision at the time to become a manager, I had no idea that would be my biggest decision. When I make a business decision, I always make a list of all the pros and cons. I try to be flexible and not pigeonhole myself in one area. And one thing I'm always trying is I'm trying new things. And remember, I had no background in management. So since that time, I have managed people and projects, both long-term and short-term, and I have had so much fun. As a vice president of special projects, I lead a team of professionals where we consistently work on many long-term special projects or tasks. One of those would be responding to requests for proposals by government agencies, providing online training and professional development for our over 100 attorneys and over 50 managers across the country, and then also managing our brand and logos and graphic designs. In addition to the long-term projects that I'm responsible for, I also either personally or oversee through my team a number of short-term projects. So a day for me can be different from day to day to week to week. So this past week, I've reviewed a proposal to answer all SNAP, which is formerly food stamps, all SNAP questions in a statewide call center. And in terms of reviewing that proposal, I had to review all of the federal law, the state law, all of the regulations in relation to SNAP. So I mentioned earlier, I don't go to court anymore. Some of my friends call me a pretend attorney, but really I use my law degree every single day in reviewing requests for proposals, in reviewing contracts, in trying to develop a persuasive argument so that I have the ability through my law degree to look at both sides. I mean, I can't tell you how helpful the law degree's been. I also, this past week, I tested a new online training course for security and confidentiality. I worked with my team to try and figure out how to roll out Microsoft Teams to our managers. Microsoft Teams is a great way for people to collaborate, and they have different meetings, ways that you can have polls and chat. And one of the things that we try to do is provide support for our managers on how to engage with their teams. So my degree in education, while I'm not teaching kids and I'm not coaching volleyball and basketball like maybe I thought I would, that foundation of education is really helping me in providing support to all of the adults that I work with. Learn as you go. The other thing that I've been doing for the past 6 weeks and finished this week is coordinated a refresh of our website. We wanted to make it look a little more professional, and we finally finished that, so that special project is over. I'm also facilitating a strategic plan discussion for one of our state clients in, I guess, 6 weeks, and so I'm preparing for that. And then finally, because it's the end of the year, I had to draft 3 budgets. So that's a day in the life of Mary Johnson. My position is fantastic for me because I am learning new things all of the time. For instance, last year, my boss said, you know, we need to figure out a way that we can share information with our clients, but I want to do it in a cloud-based way. And I said, okay. So I worked with several companies. I vetted them to see who does what. I coordinated our vision on what we wanted to do. And now I am building portals for our clients. We have over 30 state or county clients, and I'm building these portals for them. It's fascinating. If you had asked me a year ago if I could create a website, I would have said no way. Now, I'm not saying that when I start something that, boom, I know what I'm doing. It takes hours and hours and hours of work, but I just love learning. So that's what excites me most about my job. I would say for those of you out there that there are opportunities everywhere. Just choose something that interests you and challenges you. As you've probably figured out, I love trying new things. And as the vice president of special projects, it's all part of my job. The problem with me is sometimes I like to try too many new things at once. And so the most challenging part of my job is prioritizing each project properly, providing resources for each project, and then making sure that I'm mentoring and supporting my team. You know, if you've made it this far in listening to me, you probably know what I'll say. I would say be flexible, try new things, keep learning all of the time, Have so much fun. If you are not having fun in your job, then try something new and absolutely love what you do.